everybody, my name is Jasmine Harper. Welcome to Faithfully Uncool. This is my little space on the internet where I talk about faith, spirituality, religious studies, Christianity, things that matter to me. If those things matter to you, then I encourage you to subscribe. Today's video is going to actually be about Christianity and the law of attraction. So I know that the law of attraction is not a religion or anything, so this is not a comparative religion video, but I find the law of attraction a really interesting philosophy. It's clearly helped a lot of people, and on YouTube there's a plethora of videos about things that people have done to manifest this in their life or manifest that in their life, or different visualization, meditation, law of attraction, focusing techniques, and how the way that they think and how the way that they practice the law of attraction has attracted really great things and situations, even relationships, into their world. So I find that all very, very interesting. So today's video is going to be looking at some similarities between the law of attraction and Christianity, but also looking at some things that maybe if you're more religious minded could give you a lot of pause or even make you feel a bit uncomfortable about the law of attraction. So we're going to get right into that. But just as a quick side note, I look totally different in the rest of the video because I had to do this introduction several times and once on a different day because it just was not working with the way when I filmed it first. And also, if you have no idea what the law of attraction is, I'm going to just give you a little quick definition. According to the lawofattraction.com, the law of attraction is the ability to attract into our lives whatever we are focusing on. It is believed that regardless of age, nationality, or religious belief, we are all susceptible to the laws which govern the universe, including the law of attraction. It is the law of attraction which uses the power of the mind to translate whatever is in our thoughts and materialize them into reality. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this principle of divine timing. So I hear this a lot in people's law of attraction videos, where this idea of divine timing is really the way to go and something that you have to remember when you're trying to manifest stuff or when you put stuff on your vision board. It's really important to focus on this aspect that the timing of a situation or an opportunity or a relationship, whatever you're trying to manifest in your life, is going to come when it needs to come, and that there's a higher power, an unknown essence, perhaps the universe, knows when to give you this. And so you have to have this degree of trust, and that the timing is not just random, it's not just a coincidence, it's going to be divine, and you will arrive at what you need when you need to have it in your life. This is something that is really highly in Christian theology as well, that God, his ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts. And so it's very important that we have this degree of trust for God and trust that God is going to make a way even when a situation is difficult, even when we seem hopeless, that God has overcome the world famously. Jesus has overcome the world. And so we have to trust in this aspect of timing. You know, no one knows the time or day of judgment, it's said. There's a lot of apocalyptic type of writings in the Bible that kind of lead to this idea that there is something coming, and that the world, there are things in the world, things that we don't see, and things that are happening behind the scenes, I guess, of our five senses and what we just perceive right in front of us, that can dictate the timing of different things in our life. And that so we have to have this degree of trust and a power that we might not fully comprehend. Something else that I've heard commonly reiterated in different people's law of attraction videos or law of attraction advice tips, what have you, is this really just this principle, I guess you could say, of specificity. So this idea that when you're visualizing something or when you're trying to manifest something in your life, try to make it specific. Try to be real about it. Try to really hone in on what it is that you want or how you want to really feel when you have that experience. I feel like that's actually a really great tip for prayer and a really great tip for meditation. So when you think of prayer and meditation, these are not things that some religion or some philosophy has a hold on to that no one else can really experience. These are practices that really all faith traditions and all philosophies about introspection and inner thinking and understanding yourself really prioritize the importance of this idea of quiet time to get to know yourself, to get to know the universe, to get to know your higher self or the higher power that you believe in. And so prayer and meditation are very important ways and very important habits that really no one, I think, who's spiritually minded would disagree with. So what I think is so interesting about this whole specificity thing is that it's really good to use in your prayer time and in your meditation time too, because when I'm praying to God about a situation, whether that has to do with me or whether that has to do with someone else, I can specifically not just speak on it, but really imagine what it's going to be like, or for that other person, what their situation will be like when they receive what I'd like them to receive, or when I receive what I want to receive. So I think that that's a really cool tip just in general to focus on, is this idea of really having a specific thing or goal in mind and not being afraid to put your hope in it. Be specific, believe in what you want, and really hone in on it and go for it. Don't be afraid to speak on it. That's fantastic. Divine timing. Things will happen when they need to happen. Again, really great principle. Nothing really against that, right? But if you're like me and you've seen a lot of law of attraction videos and you think that this is actually a really cool way to think about your life and to focus on the positive in life and be grateful and stuff like that, you don't really have any issues with it. Like, it's not like I'm searching for arguments. I really don't have issues with other faith traditions, let alone law of attraction. So I'm cool with it. But there are, admittedly, two things that I wonder about, or that might make me feel a bit uncomfortable, or that I can imagine might make other people that are religious feel uncomfortable, even if they don't affect me as strongly. So here are those two things. All right, everyone. So I know that I mentioned that there are two things that if you're more religious, you might have an issue with or might make you pause about the law of attraction. So real quick here, I'm actually only going to be discussing one in this video, which is the one that I'm about to talk about next. But the first one, if you're curious, was actually me asking, was the law of attraction selfish? Was the individualism that we see in the law of attraction selfish? But you ever ask a question and then right after you ask it, you realize your answer? Yeah, that was pretty much what happened. Because after reading some more about it, I figured, well, I guess it's kind of like asking, is the law of gravity selfish? If you believe that everyone has access to positive thinking and then attracting what they think and what they focus on, then it's not really selfish. It's just you making that decision. Now, we could always argue that it's easier for some people than others because of circumstances, privileges, what have you. Do what you will with that. But I just decided to take that question out because I thought that it was just not that strong, really. And like I said, I kind of had a reason. Right after I asked it, I was like, well, never mind. I kind of figured out my own question. But the next thing, which I'm going to call the second thing, is coming right up. So let's tune in. So the second thing that I want to say in regards to law of attraction is an issue depending on who you are. It makes you uncomfortable depending on who you are and how you think. And that would just be the element of vagueness in law of attraction. So everything is about the universe. The universe has the divine timing. The universe, you can trust the universe. You can trust this unknown or maybe inexplicable force. And to be honest, every faith tradition, every religion has a different level of defining God and defining who God is and how God came to be and what God wants for your life and what maybe life is supposed to teach you. Well, I'm not saying that law of attraction is wrong for being vague, because if you are someone who has a background of studying religion, and I do academically, then you learn that, especially when people talk about Eastern religions, so Buddhism and different other faiths, there might be examples of people to follow, but as far as the Christian equivalent of Jesus or God, that can vary, and that's okay. So I'm not saying that the vagueness is wrong. And before I was a Christian, I actually was very skeptical. I considered myself an agnostic, and I came to faith as an adult. So I don't really have a inherent discomfort with people who take a more, I guess you could say, loose approach to the God quality or God nature of the world that we live in, or who God is to be. Now, even though I identify that as Christ and I have my own reasons for that, that was a journey, and I'm not forcing anybody else to arrive at the same place that I was. I will talk to you about my experience, but I validate yours. So I just think that the vagueness of the law of attraction can turn some people off to it entirely. I don't think that it should, but it's something that I just want to address in this video, because if we're going to talk about issues with it, then that's something that I can see a lot of people that are more religious having a question about, or just thinking makes it kind of seem wishy-washy, which, to be fair, a lot of people think it sounds wishy-washy for numerous reasons. But to me, if you just want to say like attracts like, there is a truth to that. Whether you want to call it the law of attraction or the law of positive thinking or the law of hope, it doesn't really matter. But there is a degree of truthfulness to the fact that how you see the world is how the world will seem to you and perhaps affect what you get out of the world. If you see the world with rose-tinted glasses, you might get more roses than someone who sees the world as negative and awful and everybody hating everybody. So that's my video on law of attraction. Just some thoughts that I have, and I'm not a law of attraction guru. I don't know everything about it. If I made a mistake, please let me know in the comments. Just be polite, be kind. This is not, anything to offend anyone. I just find it a very interesting concept to speak about. And I want to speak about that from a more Christian perspective because that's the perspective that I have. I always like to leave links to things that I found interesting or research in the description box. So if you're really into this topic, then I would just check there for more. And if you made it this far and you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Please do. Please join me if you like this kind of content and you like talking about Christianity and spirituality. I'd love to have you here on Faithfully Uncool. And last but not least, go in peace. Bye.